Hello everyone, it's Tobin Industrial once again. Today we are looking at a DeltaForce Magnum AM/FM sideband CW 10 meter mobile radio. Just want to give you a brief overview of the radio, but I'll be first to admit that this is the first time I've actually had my hands on this radio, so I know very little about it. But anyway, I'll just run over the features of it for you. First of all, you look right across the front of the radio here, there's a lot of double stacked knobs here. There's a volume and squelch, double stack, with your on off switch. And then there's a mic gain and frequency gain, RF gain, double stack. Then you have a 4 or 5-way switch here, which is your Roger beep, your signal strength and RF, calibration, SWR, and CW. The next double stack would be the calibration and power, and this double stack is E volume and E delete, I would think so. And there's an off switch on the inside one, I believe, or both. Like I say, I'm not overly familiar with radio. The next double stack is the clarifier and AMT, and of course the last switch over here is the channel control or the frequency control with regard to this radio. You have your meter, typical meter, standard run-of-the-mill meter, and then you have your function keys, which are 8, and many of them actually have double functions. Hence, that's why they use the function key. It does have a 6-pin microphone attached to it, and if you can see this, it's the original Magnum microphone is also with it. Anyway, we're going to do a power up this radio now, see exactly what's going on, and then from there we'll go into the internals of the radio. Before I do a power up, I should have a look at the back here. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, but this is the heat sink. This is where your antenna connects, your PL259. You have the standard aluminum plate that identifies the radio, DeltaForce Magnum, made in Korea. The power supply wire here, a DC supply, the 13.8 volt. You have an external speaker jack, and you have your CW key jack. Okay, the radio's powered up. Obviously, it's a 10 meter radio, so it's. I was just looking when I first powered up, so that's weird. It's up 29 megahertz, but I just remembered it is a 10 meter radio, and so it's on 29,200 at this moment. And okay, the rotary works wonderful. We're down to 28 megahertz now, and how far will it go? I guess it'll just go down as far as 28, and that's it. We'll soon find out. If you can see this now, I'm not sure. I'm sure you can. Okay, that's 28 megahertz. Okay, and it goes to 29,690. So I'm not exactly sure if this radio is the radio that can be opened up for 11 meter or 12 meter. I don't know. I never really looked into it. Just got this radio just recently, and I do notice that the meter light is not working. And then now I'm not going to fool around too much with radio, but because I want to show you the internals on this video, and we'll get to that. But I don't have anything hooked up to the back of the radio, an antenna, not a dummy load. Just going to key up here and see what happens. Okay, we have a TX light, and if you notice, the meter is not working. And also, just one more time, I'm not going to key up this too often. We're on 29,690, but when I do key up, it goes to 29.090. Interesting. Okay, we won't do that no more. Should be operating on a dummy load, and I'd highly suggest that that's what I should have done, but the wiring in the back here wouldn't reach the radio where I have it set up, so no more testing of the radio without an antenna onto it. Okay, I'm not going to bother to do any more, because obviously there is something that needs to be looked at in the radio with regard, so I don't want to do no more testing. It's not keying up. The TX light is coming on. I'm thinking at the moment, if I'm fortunate enough, it's probably a bad connection. and if I'm not so fortunate, maybe some parts may need to be replaced. And but anyway, we're going to pull the bottom off of it now and have a look at the internal of the radio and see what we can find. Okay, upon taking the bottom off, I've recognized we have 2 double finals here. Shouldn't say 2 doubles, double finals. The C1969, there's 2 here. So it has a higher output, which I figured. I think it's 25 watts, I believe, as the maximum output on AM, or maybe it's 50. Somebody can correct me on that. I don't know a whole lot about radio, like I say. I've heard about it, but this is the first time I've had my hands on one. And this here is the driver, 2166. Looking in the back, and I do apologize, I can't zoom in any closer because it's nothing but a blur. Looks like the power wires here were replaced. Somebody changed the wires out in the back here. What else do I notice? Now, this is just a novice eye, folks. Probably a little bit more than novice, but certainly not professional. There's a vertical circuit board here that I'm looking at. It's a little bit loose because right here the screw is missing. So obviously the radio's been apart. I'm sure it's pretty old. So got a screw over here that's not tight at all in this area here. And I don't know why it's not tight, but we'll look at that. Okay, looking at the opposite end of the circuit board, this is the front, obviously. We can see that there's some wiring here that's been taped up, and that looks like it's going down into the channel selector. These 2 wires that we're looking at here in the channel selector area, certainly below the channel selector, but down onto the vertical circuit board, I would think. What else do we see? Well, it looks just like the 2 wires here, like I mentioned. There's actually this blue wire here is tapped into 2 more wires, and that goes over into, looks like the volume control or the squelch, somewhere down into either the vertical board or in the front of the board on the horizontal part. Another wire down here, also going towards the channel selector area that has been connected somehow. Again, I say this is my novice overview of the radio. What else do we see here? What we don't see is probably more important. It looks like everything is intact in the radio, as best I can tell. We have all the ICs and all the components, and I don't see anything that's been clipped. A closer view would probably share more insight on this. Excuse my lens cap once again. Here's our test circuit strip, or whatever they call it, right here. So everything looks to be there. Whether there's a faulty part or parts remains to be seen. I'll try to give you a better view of this side here now underneath the circuit board, just to have a look. A lot of components in there, a lot of vertical plugging in this area here. Several plugs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I could see. And I just checked this screw, by the way, and it's stripped, so it needs to be just a slightly bigger screw put in there. And we'll rotate this way here and give you one more view. Not a whole lot to be looked at on this side of the board, but what is the number of this board is the question. I haven't noticed that yet. I do have the speaker unplugged, and the speaker goes down in the corner here, in this section right here, gets plugged into. My big fingers, you can't see it, but and that's the original speaker, I believe. Looks to be. Let's see if we can get this so you can see it. Yeah, you can see that the screws here are still glued in, so it looks to be like a very gently here. Yeah, it looks like to be like a solid working speaker. Anyway, that is about as far as I would care to take you with regard to a look at the radio. There's just a sneak on. There's another part here, a regulator or some sort of IC. There's two here, one down in there and one here. Not sure if you can see that, but anyway, it looks like all the components are intact. So that is one positive thing that we can say about the radio. Everything seems to be intact. Whether they work or not, it remains to be seen. I would say this radio needs a really good once over at least. Anyway, it's just want to show you this also. It's a 6-pin, so it must be similar to the RCI 2950, which is also a 10-meter radio. I'll back this off for you. That's as good as I can get. Anyway, so the issues that we see so far, obviously, the meter light is not working, and the meter is not working, functioning on key up. And I could check it for receive, but I'm not going to take this any further because it's probably beyond my scope of work. But it certainly powers up and is doing some functions, which is great. It's not a paperweight right now. It's alive and it's kicking, but it could be on life support. Anyway, time will tell. I'll probably get this radio into Radio Nut sometime in the future, and when he has some time, when he has lots of time, he can have a look at it and see what the score is. But if he's too busy, it doesn't matter. I'll just put it aside till we can get it done. I'd like to thank you for watching the video. I hope it was as informative as it could be, and I've given the information that I know about this radio, which is zilch. And anyway, there could be some updates in the future regarding this radio if I ever get a chance to have it looked at. Thank you for watching the video, and have a great day.